Well, just as we have stated earlier, working mothers face many challenges. They struggle to balance work and family life and often face unfair treatment, lower pay, and limited career opportunities. Finding quality childcare and managing work-life balance can also be very difficult. How can working mothers navigate the emotional toll of balancing career ambitions and also family responsibilities? Now, joining us on the conversation to speak further on this, we have Olufumilayo Gombe. She's founder, CEO, Event Nanny. Thank you so much for joining us this evening, ma'am.
Thank you for having me, Dashin. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. All right, so let's begin with the obvious question. Okay, first of all, what are the most significant challenges, working mothers face in balancing professional responsibilities and family obligations?
Just to name a few, I mean, working mothers face a lot of challenges, you understand, and in balancing, their obligations as mothers and as professionals. And I will highlight at least about maybe 3 or 4, one being a work-life balance.
Yeah.
It's almost very difficult for us to juggle, our professional responsibilities with childcare, household duties, and even, other duties. As women, we wear different hats. Mm-hmm. We wear the hats of a mother, we wear the hats of a wife, we wear the hats of a professional or an entrepreneur or a marketer. We wear the hats of a daughter, we wear the hats of even a sibling, so we wear different hats. And so oftentimes, having a work-life balance, finding that balance is one challenge that a working mother faces. A second challenge is the childcare concerns that we have, as mothers and as working mothers. Oftentimes, you're worried about that child at home, or if for some reason you don't even have the right support system, so you're oftentimes worried about, oh gosh, you're at work, and then I give an example. You're at work as a mother, and you get a phone call from the school that, oh, your child just came into the medical facility. The nurse is calling you and say, oh, your child just had a headache, or your child has a running tummy. You're juggling between, you're thinking, oh, what do I do now? Do I drop my work and quickly dash to the school, or I get somebody around to quickly help, check on that child? You have to attend PTA meetings, and oftentimes the PTA meetings are clashing with maybe a very, very important meeting at work. So you have to juggle, finding the right balance. Another thing is the guilt that comes with being a working mother. You feel like, oh, you're not giving enough attention, you understand, to the child or to your children. And then you have the career advancement, which is a major one. As professionals, you find out that women oftentimes have to stall their career, you understand, or stifle their own dreams, for the sake of the family. But that doesn't happen with a man. The man will go on and keep advancing in his career. But for women, you find out that once you get pregnant, for example, you go for maternity leave. By the time you're coming back from maternity leave, you might have missed out on something. You might have missed out on the opportunity to be promoted, or missed out on a commission from a deal. You understand?
So, so many people have actually said the reason why most working mothers go through all that is the need to be perfect. Some have actually suggested that letting go of perfectionism is good for their mental health. Now, but how would you say, or how can working mothers release the pressure to be perfect or even flawless?
Thank you, Darshan. I think the first thing working mothers need to have in their mind, or, to have up on the top of their mind, is the fact that they're not perfect. In fact, before I came on, in my head, I was thinking of that song, I'm not your superwoman, you understand? Oftentimes, women think that we think we're super, but we're not super women. We're just human beings. So we need to let go of that notion that we are perfect. We cannot be perfect. It's not possible. And I think there are different ways in which we can help ourselves. So first and foremost, I would break it down into three. You have the individual strategy that you need to put in place. One is effective time management, being able to balance your time properly for yourself, your family, and your work. You understand? And then women need to seek support. Oftentimes, women, you find out that we don't speak out, we don't ask for help. Again, it's because of that perfect mentality, that perfection mentality that we think we have. You understand? And but we need to seek for help and support where we need the help and the support. When you need time out, please ask a friend that, you know what, I need time out. Can you help me take care of my kid or my children for a while? You understand? So you don't burn out. Now, another way is, for the organization that you work with or work for. And thankfully, we have quite a number of forward-thinking organizations in Nigeria where they're able to provide the necessary support for their women folk. I'm not going to mention organizations.
All right, well, just before we go into, we will definitely be coming back to, organizational support. Just before, you move forward, okay. Let's touch on briefly gender pay gap and also equal compensation. How can working mothers negotiate fair compensation without feeling guilty about it? Because you talked about, working mothers feeling guilty when they have to work because they have children to take care of. But what about when it comes to, negotiating compensation? Most women also feel guilty that they might not be worth, a promotion or a raise.
So, as a woman and as a professional, in the area or the field that you're working in, we must ensure that first and foremost, you're competent. So you have to have expertise in the field or the area that you're working in, so that by the time you are negotiating for that fair wage or fair compensation, you're speaking not from an emotional point of view. You're not speaking as a woman. You're speaking as a professional and an authority in your field, your area of field. You come with figures, you come with facts. If you have helped in the bottom line, you've helped in promoting or adding to the bottom line, you've brought value, you understand, to your organization, and you have your facts and figures, you have your KPIs, you've met your KPIs. All you need to do is speak to your KPIs, speak to your objectives and your goals. These are the things that I have done. These are the things I have achieved. You understand? So, I think women just need to learn to be bold. We speak about being bold, we speak about being confident, but we need to walk the talk. Now, you can only walk the talk if you have achieved, you understand, if you have really, really indeed brought value to the table. People will listen to you when you do bring value to the table. So when you're negotiating for your fair pay, it's only not, and again, you see results. Again, there's that adage that says, let your results speak for you. When you have results, I think it's a no-brainer that you can actually negotiate your fair pay. I hope that answers your question.
Well, speaking of, just to understand you better, speaking of having expertise and bringing value to your workplace, tell us about the impact, that a limited career progression would have on a working mother's sense of identity and self-worth.
A lot, as a woman, if you're not, again, it has to do with self-fulfillment, you understand, and let me see how to put this properly now. Having your self-worth and knowing that you're bringing something and a value to the table. For men, for them, I think once they hit their objective, their set objectives, they have a task ahead of them, they hit that set objectives, it brings a sense of fulfillment. And I think it's the same thing for us as women as well, you understand? So again, it would impact or inhibit a woman's self-identity when her career is being truncated or limited in terms of her career progression as a result of her being a working mother. You understand? So I think employers need to put certain things in place, certain family-friendly policies in place. Now, let me further explain. We had a program yesterday called the Care and Economic Conference, right? And one of the panelists said something about how they had put certain policies in place in their own institution that is called the Maternity Mental Health Policy. Now, what does that mean? It means that, for a woman who is pregnant, again, there's a lot of toll that takes place both mentally and physically. So even that could inhibit the woman's contribution at her workplace. So they understand this. So they put in place the fact that when their appraisal season comes, and maybe a young woman, that has just put to bed, they don't consider that period of when she took in and when she gave birth during her appraisal. So that way it does not impact or impede her progression at work. And I think that's a very, very good and a laudable thing that organization is doing. Because you see, as women, again, we go through a lot emotionally, physically, mentally, you understand. So, and when we're unable to perform as a result of these issues, we don't want it affecting our career progression in any way, because again, it's due to no fault of ours.
Well, let's go back to, the forward-thinking employees, organizations that you talked about earlier. What exactly can employers do to support working mothers and also help them thrive in their careers?
A lot. I think first and foremost, again, even though COVID-19 was, that period was an era, but one of the positive things that COVID-19 did for us was remote working. Organizations were able to, realize that, their employers can actually work from home or from wherever they are, as long as they meet their set objectives. So one of the ways in which employers can support working mothers is to grant them flexible hours, work hours, and remote work options. You understand? Again, permit me to give an example. One of the organizations also yesterday mentioned how one of the policies that they have enacted and put in place is the maternity leave. And that is another family-friendly policy that has been put in place to help a woman and to support their female employers. So aside from the maternity leave, which is 12 weeks, now when the woman is meant to resume for maternity leave, she's not allowed to come back to the workplace. She resumes, however, she works from home for another 3 months. So that is one way in which employers can support their female employees. Another way is on-site childcare support, where the organization can actually have what you have the creche in their facilities, and which is a very, very good thing.
So that has to do with promoting gender diversity and equal opportunities for working mothers as well.
Absolutely. So a mother can come to work, and knowing that her child is just barely 5 minutes away from her, and again, she'll be more productive. Mentally, she'll be balanced. Physically, again, she's able to rest. She can quickly go to the creche, breastfeed the child, and while she's breastfeeding the child, she takes a nap, a very short power nap. You understand? And that in itself can help a woman's mental and physical well-being, which in turn translates to being productive at work, which in turn translates to the bottom line. You understand? So, and then I think I mentioned parental leave. There's a parental leave, there's a maternity leave, and now there's also paternity leave, which, we think that only the mothers alone require the maternity leave. But you see, they also need the support of their partners. Because, as a young mom or as a woman who's just put to bed, your body has gone through so much. So oftentimes all you want to do is you want to just sleep. So that period is actually the time for the partner to support the woman. Again, I digress. So employers can support by flexible work arrangements, on-site childcare, parental leave policies, and then employee assistance program like the one I just mentioned that an organization is already doing.
All right. Now, earlier you said women don't speak out and they need to seek support. What can they do in terms of mentorship and also sponsorship?
in terms of mentorship and sponsorship with relation to their work,
Yeah.
their profession.
Yes, of course.
I mean, it's a no-brainer. If you have someone you look up to in your line of profession, and you know this person is an authority in that field, there's no harm in you walking up to that person or writing to the person and asking the person to either be your sponsor or your mentor. I mean, it's just as simple as that. You know, you walk and you ask the person, please, can you be my mentor, or can you be my sponsor, or can I even do what you call a job shadow? You know, where you shadow the person and you do not exactly, but you know, you learn from the person. You understand? So women just need to speak up. If you know someone, or if you look up to someone, it's very simple, you know, or you find someone who can assist you in having a conversation with this person that you would like to be a sponsor or a mentor, and just walk up to that person and ask. It's just as simple as asking or writing.
Okay. Now, Olufemilayo, earlier you talked about, gender discrimination, and no doubt some workplaces can be very patriarchal or even very, very toxic. Now, let's talk about gender discrimination and also stereotypes. How does unconscious bias and also microaggressions, affect working mothers? How, especially when it comes to career advancement?
I think I don't need to speak too much on that. Why, you know, in terms of it's glaring when you have this biases or this discrimination, this gender discrimination. Again, it's counterproductive. It impacts negatively on the woman, you know, and like you said, you know, it will interest you to know we still have organizations like that are very patriarchal. About 3-4 days ago, a young woman walked up to me and said, "Oh, Auntie Fumi, you see this conference that you're having is so very instructive. Why? Because I was not employed in an organization because I was pregnant. Why? Was she not fit for purpose? Was she not fit for the role? She was fit. Was she not competent? She was competent. Just because she was pregnant. So the organization was not going to employ her because they didn't want to have to deal with the fact that she was pregnant. They didn't want to have to deal with the fact that she has to go for maternity leave for another 3 months and all, you know. So these are stereotypes and biases that really we need to speak up against, and as much as possible advocate, you know, for a mindset shift. And how can we do that? It's again, forward thinking organizations already, you know, can begin to make conscious effort in communicating what they're doing, you know, just increase their awareness, amplify what they're doing already as organizations that are very, very female centric. You understand? And so that other organizations can take a cue and also follow suit. Again, like you spoke about gender biases. If women are not also in the workforce, tell me, can the men do everything? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You have, again, we are in a country where women are almost if not more than half in terms of the numbers as men. You know, so why not also allow us to be in the workforce? Why not allow us to also contribute to the household income? Why not allow us to do our own quota as well in contributing to the economy?
Well, speaking of the men, you talked about earlier about paternal leave. Yes,
leave,
paternal leave. Now, aside that, how else can fathers or even partners support, their spouses aside paternal leave, and also challenge the traditional gender roles?
Very simple. Just being supportive to their partners in different ways. Now, fathers and husbands who understand, the toll that motherhood and balancing and juggling all the different aspects of life, being a mother, being a wife, being a sibling, being whatever it is, and also being a career woman. I go to work in the morning. I have been in traffic. If I leave on the mainland, I come to work on the island, I would have gotten into traffic maybe like an hour and a half before I get to work. I get to the day's business. And then again, my children don't know if I am a CEO or if I am some C-suite executive. All they know is they need to talk to
your
mommy now if they have a tummy ache, or if, do you understand? So I am busy answering, multitasking. I'm answering to my children's needs while I'm at work. You understand? So I get back home again. Now, my husband wants me to enter into the kitchen. I'm not saying it is wrong. Are you getting me? I'm not saying it's wrong for me as a wife not to enter into the kitchen. But again, I have gone through another 2 or 3 hours of traffic. You know how Lagos can be. I get home, I'm exhausted. I am tired. My body's tired. So at that point, if I say, oh, honey, I can't really go into the kitchen at the moment, but can I quickly whip up maybe something like a quick meal? You understand? My partners should understand this, and be able to give their wives the right support that they need in terms of just being understanding. Really, I think that's just it. Just being understanding. And then again, we find out that we still have partners who would not allow their wives to take on care, to take on maybe a housekeeper, either leave in housekeeper or leave out our housekeeper. Again, we can't do everything. You understand? So those are ways in which they can support. And then just also, providing even just counseling.
All right. Yeah. Let's just, you are a working mother, right?
Yeah.
What does success look like for you, for other working mothers? What should it look like, and how can we redefine it to prioritize, our well-being?
Success is very personal. So success can be individual. So for me as a working mother, success is I'm able to juggle being a career woman. I'm advancing in my career. I get to the zenith of my career. And at the same time, I have not dropped the ball at home. I have raised responsible children who will in turn be responsible to the society. I am the wife that my husband wants me to be. You understand? And at the same time, I'm able to fulfill my own personal dreams, my personal community impact or social impact. So that is what success is to me.
Okay, so just before we quickly wrap up, would you say the personal sacrifices that working mothers make to achieve work-life balance are worth it?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Olufumilayo Gombe, for speaking to us this evening. Founder, CEO, Event Nanny. We appreciate you for your time.
Thank you very much for having me.
It's a pleasure.
I really enjoyed having this chat with you.
With that, we'll take a quick break. And when we come back, the conversation continues. Stay with us.